that's obviously missing is the iconic AT-AT walker, and that's for a good reason. It simply doesn't fit. And interestingly, I wasn't the only person to have this issue. This user was working on an animation project and encountered similar. His solution was a rail system into the main opening, but I'm opting for carrying them externally. Gazantes have hyperdrives, and we can assume they operate out of the much larger Super Star Destroyer hangars, so all is well. A quick junction and staircase leads to the hangar control room, which has useful sightlines across the main opening. The most important design in here is the rounded Imperial workstation, and I'll be using it a fair bit throughout the interior. Don't worry about the blockade runner going missing, we'll find her again later. To make sense of the TIE fighters being on Rex, I had to install a rail system that connected the landing bays to the launch bays, and it had to be a loop system to avoid congestion. A lot of the interior planning was essentially a game of problem solving. How do the pilots get in and out? Ladders and a hole in the ceiling. Where does that lead to? Preparation areas linked to the main corridors. Where do TIE fighters get repaired and refueled? A parallel track with a dedicated room. How do crew get there? This elevator. How do the TIEs zip around? On these grabber things. This kind of thinking made the whole ordeal enjoyable, and that was a major contributor to all of this incredible progress. Let's hop back to the exterior. I started off with detailing the ship's neck. The angle of this back face reminded me of the one on my Acclimator. Basically, it will be a bit tricky to detail, but not impossible. Below the bridge, I added what I'm calling my favourite set of greebles across the whole ship. It's just a shame that it's in constant shade down here. Above the engines, I continued detailing, working my way up to an opening that was used to dump waste material. After finishing up the larger sloping face, I added windows to the garbage area's doors and connected them to an interior trash compactor. You would not want to get stuck in here. Extending the room backwards, I installed hydraulic presses, incinerators with conveyor belts, and recycling stations for all of the ship's waste management requirements. Next up were the hull trench indents. There's a big one and a small one, and they both help to break up the straight line along the edge. The problem with my main reference was that the details were way too itty-bitty, for lack of a better term. Therefore, I switched to this model made by Heattaker, which was less accurate scale-wise but provided amazing inspiration for the greebling. And so began the most unemployed series of tasks I have ever undertaken, using the ideas from the 3D model to decorate these fins, and breaking up the straight edge even further with smaller scale indents and outdents? Is that a word? But I didn't stop there, oh dear. In fact, that was just the first few hours of my 2-week greebling spree. And looking back, I honestly don't know how I did all of this without going insane. Clearly, it was invaluable to have